So hello guys and welcome back to our web application tutorial of the repeater. So I will gonna show you how to use the repeater control, and I will show how to show up the data from the database using repeater control. So I already created the database here and it will be shown here. I take the simple data of the name and I will print it on the web form using in. So I will make a new item, and using this I create a new web form. I give name it is. So here is the design source code and here is the blank design. So I will show you how to use the repeater control. Repeater control is the simple lightweight control than the grid view and easy to use. So I find the repeater control. Here is the repeater control, so I will put it here. Okay, so I will get the repeater control. So now I will go to the source. Here is the repeater control. Repeater control has main 5 or 6 templates, and we have to use it compulsory, in which 3 we have to use it. So here is the repeater control and ID is the repeater 1. So in which I have to use the header template, item template and footer template. These 3 templates are compulsory. So I will add the header template. So here is the template we can use in the repeater control. So I use the header template. So in header template we can put which will be data is in the header, and we have to use item template in which our item from the database it will be shown, and the footer template we have to end the our repeater control. So I will add the footer template. So here is the our 3 templates are ready. So we have to print the data in the tabular form. So I will take the table. So table, and I will give it borders as 1. So here is the table tag, and we have to complete this table tag at the footer. So our footer is here. So here is the footer, and in header we have to print the table header rows and columns. So I will take the header row, in which we have to print which data is the. So we have to print ID, name and enrollment. So I will put it here. We have to take here table row and table data, table head, th. So in which we have to print the ID. So I will copy it. So our second column is the name. Let me see what is name and enroll. So I will put it here name, and here is the enroll. So our header is complete. So we have to make in the column, and now we have to bind the data from the database. So we have to go in the CS file. So on the load event we have to bind the data in the repeater control. So we have to take the database connection string. So I will, here is the connection string. So I will copy it. So I will write the string connection and I will paste it here. So I will change the mandatory. and we have to semicolon and at the rate, so ignore slashes and I will remove the double quotes here. So here is our connection string is the, okay, we have to put it here. Okay, so our connection string is ready. So now we have to make the database connection. So we have to take add the new namespaces using system.data and another is system.data.sql client. So namespace including is complete. So I will make the SQL connection. SQL connection SQL equal to new SQL connection, and we have to pass the parameter in SQL connection is the connection string. So I will pass the con our connection string, and we have to open the connection. So SQL dot open. So here is our connection is open. So we have to take the database adapter to store the data. So I take the SQL adapter, SQL data adapter ADP equal to new SQL data adapter, in which we have to pass the two parameter. First is the our string. So our string is the query, we have to query, and another is our connection string. So our connection string is con. So we have to declare the string of the query. So query equal to select star from our query to select the data from the database. Select star from our table name is, let me see, details. So details. So our query and the database data adapter is complete. So now we have to take the data set to fill the adapter. So let me take data adapter, then dataset ds equal to new dataset, and we have to fill the dataset of the data adapter fill method. So adapter dot fill and pass the dataset object ds. Okay, here is this semicolon is required, and we have to bind the data source to the repeater control. So here is the id is the repeater 1. So we have to bind repeater 1 dot data source equal to ds. So we bind the data source to the repeater control, and we have assigned the data source. Now we have to bind the data source. So repeater 1 dot data bind. So it will bind the our data, and after this we have to close the connection. So SQL dot close. We have don't require now the database connection, so we will close the database connection. Now here's the procedure is the complete. Now we have to go to design part, and I have to write here which will in item template which data will be print. So I will take the table row. In table row I have to print the data from the database in the control. So I will make the td table data. In the table data we have not bind it manually, but we have to bind the data from the database using adapter. So we have to put this line and data binder. We have to use the data binder dot eval, and we have to add here our container, and other one is the data item in which our data is the coming. So data item dot our column name id. So here we can get the runtime data from the database. So here we add the id. So I will copy this, control c, control v and control v. We have the three columns. So I will, here is the change the name, and here is the enroll. So here is the complete. We can put the data using three data binder.eval, and we have now completed our basic things. Let me check everything looks good. Here is the data enroll. Let me check our control enroll data bind and data bind footer template. So let me check if there is no error. Okay, so we got it. Here is the simple use of repeater control. So we can get the data from the database using repeater control. Here is the basic quick tutorial of the repeater demo. So thank you guys for watching video.